Josh McAllister.
Thank you very much, Dr Hook, and thank you to my honourable friend for securing such an important and timely debate. The world has slowly come round to the fact that there is no net zero without nuclear. COP28 was a milestone for the industry, with the conference formally recognising for the first time the crucial role nuclear will play in tackling climate change. 20 countries, including the UK, committed to tripling nuclear energy capacity by 2050. The recognition of nuclear's role in climate change was long overdue. Nuclear is the only large-scale, low-carbon energy source that can operate 24/7. Its ability to provide constant, reliable baseload power at scale allows it to complement more intermittent renewable energy sources, because we need the lights on even when the sun doesn't shine and the wind doesn't blow. Nuclear also has a critical role to play in decarbonising hard-to-abate sectors of industry. As we approach the last 2 decades of our mission to reach net zero by 2050, decarbonising sectors like steel, cement and heavy chemicals will be a challenge that receives more and more attention in this place. We're also waking up to the fact that revolutionary technologies like AI, which will play such an important role in global economic growth and growth here in the UK, are going to require vast amounts of energy. These challenges will only increase the importance of nuclear and the sheer volume of low-carbon power and heat it can produce. The Sizewell C project here in the UK is a great demonstration of what nuclear can achieve. Plans have been drawn up to use power from the station when the needs of the grid have been met to produce hydrogen that can go towards reducing emissions in clean transport and machinery and direct air capture, a critical part of Britain's net zero roadmap. Finally, aside from its clean energy production, nuclear plays a vital role in economic growth and providing high-quality jobs around the world. Here in the UK, the nuclear industry supports nearly 90,000 direct jobs, including 16,000 in my own constituency. It contributes nearly £6 billion in added value to our economy. It provides a pathway to a just transition, one that creates rather than cuts jobs. With COP28 having been the moment the world recognised the role of nuclear, COP29 needs to be the moment we agree how to make that happen. And I believe there are 3 barriers that need to be addressed in that regard. Firstly, financing. Nuclear power plants have historically found it difficult to attract funding given the amount of upfront capital involved in projects. To move to include nuclear in the EU's green taxonomy has been welcome and is something that the UK should seek to mirror. Our own green taxonomy is still waiting to be published after multiple delays under the last government. Once published, the inclusion of nuclear is imperative to mobilise the capital needed to deliver our nuclear ambition. Secondly, the conference needs to examine the role of regulation and governments, ensuring that we keep standards extremely high and with that have a focus on speed in our planning processes. Despite the designs being exactly the same, Sizewell C's environmental impact assessment was 30% longer than Hinkley Point C's, reaching over 40,000 pages. Global cooperation on regulation and standards could unlock much faster rollout of nuclear technologies. Regulators from economies with developed nuclear sectors like the ONR here in the UK and the NRC in the US should be working together closely to cut the time it takes to approve new technologies and designs. Thirdly, how the government can support advanced technologies, advanced modular reactors and fusion programmes should continue to be a focus. Government support and global cooperation here on research and development of these technologies holds the ability to speed up economic growth and bring research into deployment much faster, as well as putting the UK right at the front of that new development. I encourage the government to include these considerations as part of their priorities for COP29, but also to consider this. Britain's ability to be an influential, respected voice on nuclear is becoming increasingly difficult, given that we have not allowed our nuclear sector here to grow. Dithering from the previous government has stalled our nuclear industry, and next year will mark 30 years since we successfully completed any new nuclear power station.
Will my honourable friend give way?
I will.
Thank you, Dr Hook. And thank you to my honourable friend for bringing this debate. Would my honourable friend agree with me that constituencies such as mine in Morecambe and Lunesdale, where Heysham 1 and 2 nuclear power station give good jobs and clean energy, are the perfect locations for new nuclear, such as you discussed in your speech? We have the skills, we have the ambition, we have the will. So would you agree with me that those sorts of communities that are ready, willing and able are the perfect places for new nuclear?
I would wholeheartedly agree. And actually, in the time that I've just described there, in the 30 years, 8 nuclear power plants have closed, and installed nuclear capacity in the UK has dropped by 25%. And I know there is an upcoming decision in my honourable friend's constituency about an extension to the life of an existing reactor, which will be important to secure for all of these issues. By 2028, Sizewell B is scheduled to be Britain's last remaining operational power plant, which should be sobering for all of us. My constituency is unfortunately a great case study of where things have gone wrong and can go wrong in the future. In 2008, the Moorside land next to Sellafield was designated for new nuclear use. Now, in 2024, after 14 years of Conservative failure, we have not only stayed at square one, we have actually moved backwards with new disputes over how the land should be used. If Britain can't demonstrate an ability to build new nuclear on land designated for it, in a community calling for it, and with a supply chain ready to deliver it, how can they expect to be a serious voice at the table when it comes to pushing the world to accelerate the deployment of this crucial technology? COP29 will be a moment to decide how we roll out nuclear, how it's financed, how it's regulated, and how future technologies are developed and brought to the market at speed. The UK should prioritise playing an important role in these discussions. However, we must recognise that unless we here at home fix our own industry, our ability to have influence on the global stage will be limited.